Sounds good.
Well, good afternoon and welcome to our first edition of It's All About Me. And this is Cole from the Brewers. And Cole, would you like to start off by introducing yourself and what you thought of your 2022 season?
Yeah, my name's Cole Seltzer. I think this is I've been in the league 3 years now. I'm gonna be honest, I've lost count. It's just the years just keep going. But I was a little disappointed in my season last year. The pitching staff definitely wasn't what I expected it to be. We looking ahead to this year, I think that's really the big point for me this year is pitching. Can we pitch better than we did last year? Offensively, it was exactly where I wanted it last year. So if we can continue that and improve the pitching a little bit, I think we're back to being really one of those contenders in the National League.
Yeah, I thought you were going to be a contender and give the Cardinals a run for their money and did for
Mm-hmm.
a little bit, but then it kind of failed off towards
Yep.
where you were. So, um, any big changes that have happened so far this offseason? I know it's early.
Not big changes. No, it's been a lot of little things. I think I've added three different bullpen pieces. But really, the one big splash I was looking for was a power bat, someone who could come in, hit 30 home runs for me. And I just haven't found, looking at free agency and just looking for trades and everything, I just haven't found anything that really made sense yet.
Yeah, trades are hard so far this off season. It's
Mm-hmm.
about to get into the preseason and spring training, so maybe they'll pick up. But Miguel Velasquez is all still out there. I
Yeah.
think every team in the league has almost had him so far. So you're one of the few I don't think has ever had him.
Yeah. I'm trying to stay away from it as much as possible. We'll see if I get desperate here at some point.
I tell you, he'll destroy your locker room chemistry if you go for him. I learned that when I was in Cincinnati. So let's start off by looking at your pitching staff. What is your projected rotation, and what do you expect out of your starters?
Yeah, right now, it's looking like Cuevas is going to be the one, McCuck the two, Dwayne Millar the three, Greinke four, and then Asa Lacy is going to slide in at my five right now. Um, you know, Cuevas has been the ace the last 2 years, and we that's just all we expect is for him to continue to go out there. His win total was down. I would assume he's probably going to be somewhere around 11, 12 wins this next year. Um, McCuck just goes and strikes out 10 guys in 5 innings. That's fine. You can just do that. If hopefully Dwayne Millar can stay healthy. That's kind of his been big thing. And then if Greinke just is 500, that's really all I need out of him. Is just he's just trying to be a veteran presence in that staff of a bunch of young guys. And then Lacy really last year, because he spent most of last year in the bullpen and then transitioned late in the year to the rotation and really showed out in those couple of appearances. So we know he's definitely earned that right to be that fifth starter to start the year.
Yeah, Clavis and Matuk look like they underperformed last year quite a bit. Well, so did Zach Greinke, and I know that from having them for a year or two before that and
Mm-hmm.
trade them to you. I expected a lot more from him in the National League than what you got from him. So hopefully this will be the year that he turns it around and at least
Mm-hmm.
is a little bit better than average.
Oh yeah.
Where are you at with your bullpen? I know you were talking to me before the show saying you've added a few pieces there. How does that line up for you?
Yeah. Well, I to be honest, it's finished. I count every day how many guys I have right now in my bullpen on my team, and I have too many actually. Feltman is going to be the closer. Dixon, Thompson, and Hatfield really going to be the shutdown guys, and then bringing in Loudon in the Rule 5, Isaac Sanchez in free agency, and then Hashim in on a trade with Colorado. I'm really expecting those three to really start to hold down kind of the middle and be definitely those bridge guys, especially on like when McCuck pitches, he's 5 innings, so I need one or two guys to really get me to those back end pieces and set that up. So I like where I'm at. I like the young pieces that I have in AAA right now. I'm excited that I get to sit them another year and let them develop a little more, instead of having to rush them up. But I like where I'm at, and I like the depth that I have.
Well, what do you expect to get from Whitley? I've always liked Whitley, and he just never seems like he performs up to his ratings.
I I don't know. From a guy who has 70 plus pitches, 470 plus pitches, I'd very much expect him to produce. But he just kind of fits in that kind of long relief, middle relief, not really producing what you would expect him to. So I'm kind of waiting for that breakout year, but honestly, he may end up being the odd man out, and I could see him getting traded at some point this year.
Well, if you decide to trade him, you know who to come talk to first. Uh, let's move over. Let's move over to your lineup.
hmm
Where do you see that stacking up? I mean, who do you see as your starters at each position? And then maybe afterwards we'll talk about in order if you've even thought about that at this point in the year.
So we'll kind of start. So Colomo he's been the starter for 2 years. He'll do it again. Um, First base is going to be kind of a revolving door now that we have the DH. So McCormick could be there, Sanchez could be there. There's lots of guys who are going to kind of funnel through that position depending on who we're facing, because that's a lot of what I do is righty lefty matchup and how I see that.
Okay.
So that's kind of a big thing there. I don't know how to Daniel Polini, I guess is how you say his name. I had him for a year and don't know how to say it,
Close
but
enough for me.
he I think he deserves second base. I don't know. He's kind of good, I guess. Law will be the main third baseman. Yi will get much more playing time than he did last year simply because of the DH. Shortstop is where it gets kind of interesting because Martinez is very much the offensive guy there, but having Taylor and Terang, I want those guys in the lineup because I want their defense. That was something that we were very poor at last year. So if I can get them in the lineup more, mix them in more to just get the defense in the middle infield a lot better, I'm excited there. So I would assume those guys, especially Martinez and Taylor, will be pretty close in the amount of games they start, just simply because of the defense to offensive kind of swing there. Outfield's pretty set. Of right now, it's Peterson, Sanchez, Torres, and McCormick. Just kind of those four rotating through. Whoever's not DH one day will be in the outfield or at first base or something. Just kind of how it lines up. But honestly, the lineup's pretty well set. It just kind of depends on the righty lefty matchup and what I see that day.
And Torres did really good for you after your trade
hmm
from Chicago. So, and I'm assuming he's going to be your leadoff guy. He has all the speed in the world.
Yeah, the plan. I think the plan is him lead off, and then Sanchez will probably be second with Polini batting third, and then probably Martinez batting fourth when he's in the lineup. So that's kind of the top will be pretty similar, and then after that, it depends depending on offense or defensive lineup.
Right, and righty versus lefty matchups and all that fun kind of things. So, who are your top prospects, and what do you expect out of them from this year? I mean, are most of them lower minors or upper minors or
Mid minors.
mid
I think
minors?
most of them are A ball to double A ball. Right now. Um, I think
So you probably won't see them this year. Or the majority of them won't be up this year.
the best option would be Bradley Archer. the first baseman. I know he's never listed in the top, but his contact ability, just is one of my favorite things. So if he produces, I could see him being kind of a quick riser through. But him, Stetson Bennett, and Bernie Wolf are I've kind of tied those three together of like, hey, these three are kind of my next wave. I got a catcher, a third base, and a first base. Like these guys are my next hitters that I want to come through. So, I think they'll get to AAA this year, but I would be shocked if they really got to the majors.
I'm I'm I like that also. I like to move them up one step, get them a little bit of a taste the year before I,
Hmm.
like a lot of the guys who I wanted to produce this year, I brought up at the end of last year or sometime last year to get their feet wet and get them to get those hiccups out of their
Hmm.
systems before they got there. So okay, so that goes over your prospects. So I mean, what are you expecting for this year? I mean, are you expecting to compete for the division and maybe even compete for National League Championship, or what are your expectations?
Yeah, I mean the way this team is built, if we aren't uh, the 14th ranked pitching staff in the National League the first half of the season, I think we're very much a contender. When you can't hold the other team down, it's really hard to win games. But I fully expect us to compete in the National League Central. We were only 6 games behind the Cardinals last year, and I felt like it was a down year. So I very much expect to compete there, and then hopefully get a chance to be in the National League. I don't know where we're at right now. I just think Arizona's incredibly good. Atlanta produces a team every year. I don't know how are the Dodgers going to repeat what they did? I like what
Well,
Colorado.
they added Holtzen, so I mean,
Where my concern is the offense. From my perspective, and this is just me, I felt like they had multiple guys in their lineup last year overperform by a lot. And so I'm
yeah,
concerned that their offense is going to take too big of a step backwards for them to do what they did last year, even with the pitching staff being what it is.
right. And what do you think about Cincinnati? They kind of breathed on your neck all year long last year, and they're a young upcoming team.
It helps when you have the batting champ in the National League on your team. When he hits 40 some home runs, that's pretty nice. I don't Me personally, I don't think they have the pitching staff to truly compete with us and the Cardinals. Offensively, it's fun, like they're a fun team to watch. But it's just, can they pitch it to that level that they need to?
Yeah, and keep it up for 162 games.
Yeah.
That's the hard part.
Mhm.
So what else? I mean, are you expecting to make any trades between now and the beginning of the year? Add another free agent or two that might change things up? Where are you at with all that? Because I know we're just starting to get into the preseason here in a day or two. So you're the first one doing this, so we're really early. So there's
Mhm.
still a lot of time for moves and stuff like that before the season starts.
Honestly, I haven't really been looking at anything right now. Um, I'm pretty content with where my team is at. I'm not. I know I got criticized last trade deadline about not going all in and going for it and making a bigger splash at the deadline. That's not who I am. I don't want to. I'm like, I'll trade one or two of my top prospects, but I'm not trading the whole farm system to go get that guy for maybe a 1 year run. So that's I think that's kind of where the stalemate is at, is the guys I want to go get, maybe they're a little outside my price range because of what I'm trying to build and try to be that sustainability. So I wouldn't, if you're holding your breath about the Brewers making a big splash or something the rest of this offseason, you might as well breathe now because it's not going to happen.
Well, that's good. I mean, you gotta formulate your own plan and then make a decision going forward. When I started my rebuild, I did the same thing. I sold off all my major league pieces, and now that I got my minors the way I want it and stuff like that. Now they're starting to hit the majors. You know, you kind of want to be anxious to go for it, but then you also want to hold back and give your guys a chance to
Hmm.
perform. So, but
The
yeah,
the nice thing about where I'm at is I don't have any big contracts. Like I still have like when I think about it and I look at my money, all my guys are still very much they're either pre-arb or 1 year arb. Like so I'm not like these guys that I should be paying big money to, I'm not right now, so I don't have to like there's not that worry. And so it's like, okay, I understand this window is 2 to 3 more years right now with the guys I have. It's like I want to build that team. Maybe not this, like if it's maybe it's not this year, but bring up a prospect and then trade a couple other guys to build that kind of success and sustain it because I know eventually it's gonna get a lot tougher at what I do because I'm gonna have to actually think about money.
right. And so, what's your philosophy on scouting and development budget wise? Like if I look right now at your team, it shows me that you have like almost $18 million available.
Hmm.
Is your plan to leave it there, or is your plan to put more into scouting and development? Or I mean, and we all have our own philosophies on that and what it might help or might not help.
I'm like I currently have 30 million in development. So like I already have a very big chunk of what I do already there. So I might put a little bit there, but I think a lot of that for me is going to be waiting to see like okay, we get to closer to the deadline. Is there, that impact player that maybe has 2 years, but it's a bigger contract, that some people may not take on. I want to like last year I had zero flexibility. Like I did not have any room at the cap. And so it was hard to make any moves. This year I want to be able to have that little bit of flexibility so I can take on some of those bigger contracts for guys that I want.
Well, yeah, and then somebody who expected to be in the race falls out, and now they want to trade their high priced, number three starter pitcher,
Mhm.
and they might be willing to give you a prospect to take that contract off their hands.
Yep.
Then you're ready to do something there.
Mhm.
It's always a good plan to have. So, and I see that you have good loyalty with your team, and your interest is pretty good at 71. So you're you're in pretty good shape. I I expect I expect you to be up there with the Cardinals and competing. Don't tell Aiden I said that because I'll tell him the same thing when I meet with him. No,
Oh yeah.
but I like your team. I mean, I think you're doing the right thing and you're in a good position. And just something has to fall. Something
Mhm.
has to fall right, or
Mhm.
somebody got to avoid that injury bug,
Mhm.
which is hard.
I My overall goal for this year, and this is not just like for a me thing, is that the National League wins a World Series this year. Like I very
I
much
understand.
I come in every year and I'm like, as much as I want to be good, I want the best National League team to end up in that World Series so that we can finally knock those American League teams down and be like, see, the National League can compete with you and we can win.
Yeah, see, I think I was in the National League for like 7 years with the Reds, and now this is like my third year for the A. So I still have that National League blood running through me. I still want to see that.
Yep.
I still want to see that happen. You know, at some point, the Angels in Seattle have to come down to the rest of our levels,
Yeah.
or are we rising up to their level? It's one of the two.
I think a
But they both
little.
have good teams and farm
Oh yeah.
systems, so it's hard. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, what Matt and So's have done is it's awesome. Like that's what I think every team aspires to be. It's like you're competing for that World Series every year, but you also have the farm system to back it up, Like I don't know how many guys Matt lost this offseason or let go. And you look at his team and you're like, well, he's still probably a favorite for, to win it just because he has that talent and he has that depth. And so
Yeah,
that's
he lost
that's
two or three last year, and he lost two or three more this year. And it's like you said, you look at that roster and you go, "Who did he lose?"
yeah.
There's somebody right there behind him. So, Okay, so if you had to make a bold prediction for the Brewers this year, what's your bold prediction?
Bold prediction.
Doesn't even have
Well,
to pertain to the Brewers. It can be, you know,
well,
National League
so
team wins the World Series or whatever it is.
my Brewers bold prediction is that we will be a top 3 team in ERA this year. I
Okay.
think it's bold because it's a huge change from I think like 12th last year to 10th or 12th last year to third, but
Yeah, your starter's ERA last year says it was 3.88 and it was six in the National League.
yeah, so I think you're going to see that pitching staff. That's going to change. Bold overall prediction. The Angel Neither the Angels or the Mariners make it to the World Series.
I was hoping you were going to say they neither one would win their division, but that's
I don't have that much faith in Houston yet. I don't have that much faith in Houston.
or the A's. We're making our moves to get up there, but we're still a little ways away from.
I'm excited to see how the A's do this year. I think it's been interesting to see you rebuild this team, and I like the talent that is there.
We're working on it. It's hard to, this is the time we have to be patient. So
Hmm.
I tried to make a big move. I tried to go after Holtzen. I tried to
Hmm.
go after Appeal, but they got out of my price range. Small market team. You know how that is to
Yep.
be able to afford that. So, so are you predicting the Brewers to win the Central this year
Yes. Yeah.
and hopefully make a deep run into the playoffs?
Oh yeah. For me, I think when I predict it, it's 95 wins. Win it by 2 to 3 games. We make it to the the NLCS and then lose. Just realistically, that's where I see it.
So if you had to predict how your division, you don't have to give games wins or anything like that. How would you
Hmm.
predict the order of the National League Central this year?
Brewers, Cardinals, Reds, probably Cubs, Pirates.
I think the Cubs and the Pirates still have a little ways to go, but they're both working on it. So
Hmm.
I
The
think
Cubs
I
are
think
the
your
Cubs are
guess.
interesting. I feel like the Cubs have some interesting pieces there that could be good. It could show up here.
In 2024, I could see that being a five-way race for the division title.
Yeah,
So
Pittsburgh's infield prospects are crazy. That is, that's definitely something I look at, and I'm like, okay, let's keep those guys down as long as possible.
yeah, exactly. And I'll be talking to Hodges at some point and trying to see where he's at with all that. So you can listen later on and find that out. So, all right. Any last words you want to say to the MLB Pro universe before we sign off?
Just thank you. I just want to say thank you. This it's so awesome to be in this league and to get to be with all you guys and for you, Scott, for doing this. It's just so awesome. I appreciate all that's done throughout the league, and I'm excited to be in this as long as I can.
Awesome. And we're glad to have you. Hey, I haven't heard this from anybody else in this league yet. So do you want to say what you do for a living so that way people might be able to get to know you a little bit?
Yeah. So I am an assistant baseball coach. I coach at a college here, a Division III college here in Kentucky. It's called Berea College. I actually used to coach the Carson Thor, who is the Rockies GM. I coached him at my last school. But I very much have I'm do baseball all year round, and so I love doing this, and it's fun to have the different perspectives and take kind of the different things I do in my coaching life and try to apply that to the game and see if it works.
So at some time down the road, are we going to see you in the majors?
No, 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 no. I I don't want to be anywhere near MLB baseball. I love college. I love how it is. I'm like that's where I want to stay. You
Cool.
might see
And
me at a Power 5 school eventually, but not the major leagues.
Okay. You gotta love what you do, right? I mean,
Yeah.
if you don't, then life is hard.
Hmm.
So, well, I appreciate your time, Cole, and we'll get this out there, and we'll let everybody see this, and let them come talk trade with you.
Yeah. Thank you very much for doing this. Is a blast. So thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. We'll chat with you later.
Okay. Bye.
All right. Bye bye.